I'm in the green room of a comedy theater in Boston, but this is quite unlike a lot of the green rooms that I have seen, because here there were performers in Venetian masks, trapeze artists, and even one guy in a bunny suit, which was very different from all the comedy green rooms that I'd been in, which was mostly cis white male stand-up comics, where the jokes were all about their wives, girlfriends, and the occasional Tom Brady. And here the people were very nice. They were asking me, oh my God, what is your act? And I would say, I'm a comedian. And they would be like, wow, that's so cool. A nice way to make a human connection, right? Because the closest I had come to a human connection in stand-up comedy was when someone asked me, are you related to Mindy Kaling? But I had fallen into stand-up comedy quite accidentally. I took a comedy class after I became an empty nester parent. My daughter started college, and I was suddenly having all of this free time. What should I do? Should I think of myself, my hopes, my future? But that was a scary thing. My own thoughts and my dreams were like a Pandora's box, and I did not want to open that box. Comedy was an escape. And also, it was the first time I did something for myself that probably my family wouldn't approve of. You see, I grew up in India in the 1980s when it was a time of unequal gender roles. And I was a good child growing up in India because all it took for me to be a good child was to do well in school and not show any interest in boys. Easily managed. And then when I finished college, all of a sudden, it was like boys, boys, boys. Because, now is the time for you to get married. The time, my parents wanted to arrange my marriage. I did not want to get married. And they said, no, you have to get married and find your family. And I was like, what are you saying? You are my family. I did not want to get married. I was afraid of what it took to get married, to have a relationship with another person, a man. It just filled me with like fear and revulsion. And I tried to explain that to my parents, but they were like, no, the family that we are now, we are not. For a girl, the family that she marries into is her only real family. Your husband and child are your only real source of security. And I tried to struggle against that as much as I could, but I didn't know what was wrong with me, why I was feeling so scared, and why I was not able to do the thing that all the girls around me were doing. I got married, and then I got a child, and after that, I felt like the checklist of tasks my family had given me was now complete. Marriage, child, I am done. And now I could just do my thing, which was like separate from that marriage, that situation that made me so uncomfortable. I separated and I moved across the country to raise my daughter as a single parent. And I spent the next 10 years being a good parent. And then she went off to college. And this empty space, the thoughts, the fears, all of that is just crowding through me again, and I don't know what to do, which is when stand-up comedy happened. And it rescued me from there. Because here's the thing with comedy. You don't have any standards to live up to. You can be yourself. You can be what you want to be. You choose your own path. And that had never been something that had happened for me in my life, which is why that day in that green room, everything was so amazing to me. Because here was a space where all these people of different genders and sexuality were being themselves, but they were also sharing love, exchanging hugs and positivity, and so much affection that I felt this was amazing. This place was beautiful. And I wanted to be there again and again. So I then started seeing a lot of their other shows. And that's when I got introduced to this community known as LGBTQIA+. Because until then, I knew LGBT. But I did not know all of the other letters. And suddenly, all of these new letters, and I was just like, what is this about? QIA+. And of course, I was interested in the A+. As an Indian, I was interested in the A+. And as I read about asexuality, I felt like my core shake. Because you see, in India of my youth, it wasn't just attitudes towards gender that was unequal, it was also attitudes towards sexuality, My birds and speech that I got from my family was basically, don't wear attractive clothes and don't let men touch you, otherwise you will shame your family. Good girls were not supposed to have sex until they got married. And I had always thought I was a good girl because I was conforming to that. But then I realized I conformed not because I was a good girl, but because I was not interested in sex. And that is why for the longest time I thought, oh, I'm not attracted to men or women. I don't know what is wrong with me. Maybe I'm incapable of love. Maybe I'm broken inside. So I shut myself off from the world. But here was this letter A telling me that I am not incapable of love. I am just not okay with sex. And that's okay, right? It's okay. I just don't like sex. I don't like sex like I don't like those coconut donuts at Dunkin' Donuts. Simple. Because of that community and that show, my mind that had just been limited, and previously also just limited to LGBT, now discovered LGBTQIA+. It's not just 7 colors, but a spectrum of infinite colors. I am accepting myself as an asexual, but sometimes the world takes a little bit more time to catch up. Like the doctor that I went to once, I told him I'm asexual celibate, and he's like, well, if you are not having sex, why bother keeping your uterus? Why indeed? Because I'm a hoarder? But, after coming out, my first task was to come out to my daughter, and I had to plan that well. I was very nervous about it. I came out to her, and then she was very calmly, composedly saying, oh, I thought all parents were. I would love to find a non-sexual partner of any gender, but if I don't, it's okay. I'm happy with myself, my community, my friends who are my chosen family. And when I go up on stage now, I tell my audience, I am Srilatha. I am asexual, celibate, sex-repulsed, pan-romantic, loving, friendly, golden retriever. And also a very funny and cool mom, according to my daughter. Thank you.